When a German Shepherd begins tapping on a couple's window every single day, they think it's just a neighborhood dog acting strange. But the way it stares inside like it's desperate, like it knows something they don't, slowly turns their fear into terror. Because the moment they finally follow it, everything unravels. Before we start, make sure to hit like and subscribe. And really, I'm curious, where are you watching from? Drop your country name in the comments. I love seeing how far our stories travel. 2 weeks had passed since their 8-year-old son vanished, yet the house still felt frozen in the moment he disappeared. His backpack sat by the door, his favorite shoes neatly lined beside it, as if he might burst in any second and throw them on. But every day ended the same silence. Heavy and suffocating, the parents clung to routine only because it kept them from breaking. The mother spent long hours at the living room window, staring at the empty street, willing some sign to appear. The father pretended to stay strong, but at night she could hear him pacing the hallway outside their son's room. Then, one gray afternoon, something broke the monotony. A German Shepherd appeared outside their window. It stood perfectly still, watching them with an unsettling intensity. At first they assumed it was just lost. But when its paw gently tapped the glass, everything inside them shifted. The next morning, the couple found the same German Shepherd waiting at the window again, same spot, same unblinking stare. But this time it wasn't still. Its paw tapped the glass repeatedly, almost rhythmically, as if insisting on their attention. When the mother approached, the dog's ears perked, and it let out a low, urgent whine. They tried opening the door, thinking it might be hungry or thirsty. But the moment the father stepped outside, the dog backed away, refusing to let him get close. It didn't want food. It didn't want comfort. It wanted something else. Something it couldn't communicate. Day after day, the pattern continued: tap, stare, retreat. Except the behavior slowly intensified. The gentle taps became scratches. Quiet whines turned into sharp barks. Its eyes didn't follow birds, cars, or neighbors. Only them, like it was trying to point out something they couldn't see. One afternoon, the father noticed the dog sniffing the window frame with frantic determination. His chest tightened. What if it's reacting to a scent? He whispered. The scent of someone who wasn't there anymore. It was the fourth night when things stopped feeling like coincidence. As the couple tried to sleep, a faint rustling echoed from the backyard, soft at first, then unmistakably deliberate, like someone stepping carefully over fallen leaves. The father rushed to the window, flicked on the porch light, and froze. Small footprints, fresh, shallow, and unmistakably child-sized, trailed along the edge of the fence before disappearing into darkness. His heart pounded. He wanted to believe they were from before the disappearance. But the rain had washed everything away days earlier. These were new. The next morning, the German Shepherd wasn't at the window. Instead, it was sitting in their backyard, perfectly still, facing the woods beyond their fence as though guarding something. When the mother stepped outside, the dog growled, not at her, but at the tree line behind her. Like it sensed movement she couldn't see. That evening, as she folded laundry, a sound drifted through the cracked window, a faint, quivering cry. A child's cry. She dropped everything and sprinted outside, calling her son's name. But the woods answered with silence. The police arrived again, took notes again, and dismissed everything again. Grief plays tricks on the mind, the officer said gently, but the dog didn't agree. The next dawn, it was back at the window, pacing, tapping, pleading. The storm rolled in without warning, thunder cracking, rain hammering the roof like frantic fists. The couple sat in the living room, exhausted from another hopeless day, when suddenly a loud, rapid tapping exploded against the window. The German Shepherd was back, but this time its entire body trembled with urgency. Its paws struck the glass harder than ever, its eyes wide, desperate, almost terrified. The father moved toward the window, and the dog bolted toward the front door, glancing back repeatedly as if demanding they follow. "This isn't normal," the mother whispered, grabbing her coat with shaking hands. When they opened the door, the dog didn't hesitate. It sprinted into the storm, glancing over its shoulder to make sure they were behind it. The parents followed, slipping on wet leaves, their flashlights slicing through sheets of rain. The dog led them past the backyard, past neighboring houses and deeper toward the woods. Branches snapped under their feet, the wind howling like a warning. Then suddenly the shepherd stopped. Before them sat a narrow, rusted drainage tunnel half hidden by overgrown brush. The dog stood at its mouth, barking sharply, then whining, nose pressed against the entrance, from somewhere deep inside. Came a faint, hollow thud. The parents exchanged a terrified glance. The storm raged behind them, but the sound inside the tunnel, soft, strained, unmistakably human, pulled them forward. The father crouched first, shining his flashlight into the narrow opening. The beam stretched only a few feet before being swallowed by darkness. He swallowed hard. "We have to go in." The mother's breath shook, but she nodded. They crawled inside together, hands sinking into cold mud, the echo of dripping water amplifying every heartbeat. The air felt thick, damp, suffocating. As they moved deeper, the flashlight beam caught something half buried near the wall, a small red toy car. Their son's favorite. The mother choked on a sob, clutching it in trembling fingers. The German shepherd squeezed into the tunnel behind them, barking sharply as if urging them forward. Farther in, the walls showed scraped marks, long, frantic lines where tiny hands had clawed for escape. That sight alone nearly made the mother collapse. "We're close," the father whispered, voice cracking. The tunnel suddenly split into two narrow paths. Water trickled down both. They hesitated, unsure which way to go until the dog pushed past them. Nose pointed, muscles tense, choosing the right-hand tunnel, with no other hope to cling to. They followed the shepherd deeper into the darkness. Praying they weren't too late, they crawled deeper into the tight passage, every movement echoing like thunder in the cramped darkness. The German shepherd moved ahead, barking sharply, then pausing as if listening for a response. The parents froze when a faint, trembling whisper floated through the tunnel. "Mom?" The mother's heart nearly stopped. "Baby?" Her voice cracked, desperate and trembling. "Sweetheart, where are you?" A weak sob answered her. They scrambled toward the sound, mud smearing their clothes, knees scraping against cold concrete. Their flashlight beam finally revealed a small figure wedged behind a collapsed section of debris, clothes soaked. Face pale, hands trembling, their son, his tiny voice quivered. I tried to come home. But the ground? It fell? Tears streaked down his muddy cheeks. The dog. He stayed with me. He barked so loud. He didn't leave. The father cleared debris with shaking hands while the German shepherd pressed against the boy protectively, whining softly. Moments later, the boy was freed. Collapsing into his mother's trembling arms, he whispered the truth between sobs. The shepherd had guided him into the woods the day he disappeared because he'd sensed someone hiding there. Someone the boy was afraid of. But when the ground gave way, the dog never left his side. It had returned every day, begging his parents to save him. Hours later, the hospital room filled with a warmth the couple hadn't felt in weeks. Their son lay safely in his bed, IV lines running gently beside him, color slowly returning to his cheeks. Doctors assured them he would make a full recovery, just dehydration, exhaustion, and the trauma of being trapped alone, but he hadn't been alone. Not really. At the foot of the bed, the German shepherd rested quietly, eyes half closed, finally calm after days of relentless desperation. The boy's small hand lay draped over the dog's fur, as if he refused to let his guardian drift, even an inch away. The couple exchanged a look, one filled with gratitude and disbelief. They knew instantly what they had to do. They adopted the dog that very night, calling him their son's guardian angel. Because sometimes heroes don't shout for help. Sometimes they tap on your window and pray you'll listen. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Turn on the notification bell so you never miss another powerful, life-changing story.